Now, with the Ahsoka Tano series getting ready and prepared to begin filming with Rosario Dawson, Hayden, Christensen, and others out there that are actually set to portray characters like Grand Admiral Thrawn, Ezra Bridger, and even Sabine Wren, things are really moving along smoothly with that TV show before they move on to other Star Wars projects. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter at Mike01 if you guys want to go ahead and give me a follow on there. I do make sure to post a couple of entertaining things from time to time and really interact with you guys further. So, the thing about the Star Wars universe right now is that it seems very expansive. We have not just the TV shows, but also the new Star Wars movies, the books, the novels, and the comics, all in the works together. That's really going to make up the majority of this new approach by Disney and Lucasfilm and how they are going to respect Star Wars moving ahead. Now, given that we have, creators like George, John, and Dave, and Peyton Reed, and Deborah Chow, and even Robert Rodriguez all working together, that are also going to be working on other Star Wars projects besides Kenobi, Mandalorian, and the Book of Boba, we have a lot in store for Star Wars Celebration this year, where Disney's going to announce a handful of new Star Wars TV shows, new Star Wars movies, projects, and even, of course, new Star Wars comics, books, and novels that are really going to introduce brand new lore that's going to tie directly into the live-action, formats as well. So, we already know that Kathleen Kennedy is still having issues with the Acolyte TV series. I've said this many times before, that it's very unlikely that that show is going to reach its, plan to begin filming by this April. I just don't see that happening. It's looking more and more likely to begin filming either this May or maybe even June at the latest, if they're lucky. And that could very well shift the release date for 2023, possibly into 2024 if they don't stay on course. So, with that being said, with both Lucasfilm and Disney now beginning to work on the Ahsoka Tano series with Rosario Dawson, they are also focused on announcing a host of new Star Wars shows at Star Wars Celebration this year that will take fans by surprise. One major thing that Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy is pushing for Disney to do has something to do with Gina Carano as Cara Dune. Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy is described to be pushing for Disney's higher-ups to recast Cara Dune and to change the character from being portrayed by Gina Carano to Julia Stiles from the Bourne movies. It's described that of course was in the cards some months ago before Disney began to consider bringing back Gina Carano, and that they were looking into Julia Stiles, who is just 1 year older than Gina Carano. So, in case you guys did not know, Julia is 40 years old, Gina Carano is roughly 39 years old. I believe that she's going to turn 40 soon. But everything ranging from what Kathleen Kennedy is trying to push and what Disney refuses to do by Kathleen Kennedy's demands is actually quite enjoyable to see. It just goes to show you that Disney is now very much ambitious. They're trying to keep that momentum of successful Star Wars projects. I know that the Book of Boba Fett has, a handful of mixed reactions here and there, but for the most part, a lot of that has to do with Robert Rodriguez's approach and/or style for the first 3 episodes. And once you begin to see the different directors, handling different episodes, you're going to see a shift in tone, a shift in themes of the Book of Boba. Chapter 4 is truly going to start with all of that. So, moving beyond this, alright, Kathleen Kennedy, alright, of all people, is described to be pushing for the Julia Stiles plan to be picked up again to replace Gina Carano as Cara Dune and to focus on her as the new actress to play that character. However, Disney is said to not be on board with this idea for 2 reasons. Number 1 is that Julia Stiles was actually asking for a high amount of income for her role as Cara Dune in the early stages before she shot that down, the role, months ago. And number 2 is that they actually know that this would only create further backlash from the fans. It would not be healthy for the universe that both John and Dave Filoni are currently building for the fandom. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when you go ahead and take a look at Julia Stiles, and you take a look at Gina Carano side by side, I can see why in the very beginning Disney wanted to hire her as the new Cara Dune, quote-unquote, months ago. That's of course before those plans fell apart, that Kathleen Kennedy is now trying to pick up again. Now, this was not a plan by Kathleen Kennedy in the very beginning, months ago. This was a plan by the Disney higher-ups, and it was a plan that they were forcing upon John and Dave to pursue. Once those plans fell apart, now Kathleen Kennedy is trying to revive those plans. Now, if you look at Julia Stiles, I mean, yes, she could play Cara Dune. Yes, she could be a good fit as Cara Dune, but it just doesn't feel right when you already have an established actress that was the character already for Season 1 and Season 2. And for Season 3 to jump, or Season 4 to jump to a new actress that fast, it really would feel out of place, at least in my book. But moving on from this. Alright, Gina Carano is described to actually have been in the talks extensively with John and Dave on here for returning for Season 4. However, Kathleen Kennedy is really trying very hard to prevent this from happening by trying to convince Disney to hire Julia Stiles by offering her higher income for the role of Cara Dune to get her on board. Disney CEO Bob Chapek is said to have issues with looking into a new actress to play Cara Dune, as he personally knows that John, of course, based Cara's design off of Gina Carano. Julia Stiles was in the talk with, of course, Jon Favreau some months ago of coming on board as Season 3, however those plans fell through and never saw the light of day due to certain circumstances with mystery projects that she was working on at the time as well. Now, Gina Carano actually knew about Julia Stiles having conversations with Lucasfilm some months ago and was actually okay with her getting cast for the role. However, now Kathleen Kennedy is trying to revive those plans, and it's just going nowhere at this point. Disney is already convinced that the return of Gina from Mandalorian Season 4 will truly make fans happy, and perhaps even create a turnaround of those who walked away from the franchise and the Star Wars universe as a whole. Now, the Cara Dune recast phase around 4 months ago also never happened due to some rewrites that took place for Mando Season 3 at the time that shifted the story around a bit, that caused further delays on the casting of characters, which led to Julia Stiles losing her patience with the development of the season and her schedule of working on other mystery projects. So here's the thing about this, alright? I've said this before in the past. I was never on board with recasting Cara Dune. It's kind of like, recasting another character that is made for the role, like how Luke was made for the role, for Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill was made for the role of Luke, I should say. Same exact thing goes for Harrison Ford. Same exact thing goes for, Leia. Gina Carano just fits that character so well. It's because Jon Favreau literally designed and illustrated the character based on Gina's appearance. And it makes a lot of sense as to why it just fits her character. It fits her overall structure. And that's exactly why I feel that getting anybody else at this point would not feel right. Sure, Julia Stiles would be a great Cara Dune, but I think that she would be a great Cara Dune only if she were to be chosen from the very beginning, right from the get-go, as if Gina Carano was never Cara Dune. Then and only then I feel it would really work. That's just my 2 cents, and I would like to hear what you guys have to say about Julia Stiles as Cara Dune. Would it have worked? Would it work? And do you guys support that? I feel that Kathleen Kennedy's really desperate at this point, trying to dig up these previous plans and trying to revive those plans upon the Disney higher-ups, and it just goes to show you how much problems she has with Gina Carano. Anyways, drop a comment below. Let me know all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.